So the big reason why you should care about CRM is this chart kind of sums it up in a nice little graphic, which is right now CRM is at about $70 billion in software revenue. And this is just the software side. So in addition to the software side, there's obviously a lot of services. 40 to 70% of CRM projects fail. And so what that says, it should say to all service partners, hey, there's a lot of opportunity here for us to help the customers be successful with CRM. And that's just right now. I mean, if you look forward to 4 years from now and 8 years from now, this CRM is exploding right now. And the real question that we're going to answer today is, why is this happening? So let's just move on. So the two things you want to know about is there's a massive opportunity for CRM. And this opportunity isn't because Microsoft or Salesforce are creating great products and customers just are hungry for those products. It's not like an iPhone where it's a glamorous product that people want. It's because the customers are seeing a need and they need to fill this with CRM. And we'll cover that here in a second. The other thing you should be aware of, and I don't like to focus on the risk as much, but it's true that if you aren't helping your customers with CRM, they're going to find someone that will. I read a report recently that said, I think 28% of SMBs are currently investigating a CRM, and they may not buy it tomorrow, but they probably are looking at it seriously so that they'll probably buy it in the next 12 to 18 months. You want to make sure that you're there to help them, because if you aren't, they will find another firm that will do that. And that other firm might do the same services that you do. And so you might lose out on your core services just because the CRM created a risk for you because you didn't serve that market. So again, as we go forward, if you have any questions about any of this, please let me know. So I'm going to just jump ahead though. A little bit about us. I don't want to dwell on us right now, but just to help you understand our expertise and kind of what we've seen. I've been doing CRM projects for over 22 years now. So I started back in 2000. My team has helped over 450. We're probably closer to 500 customers at this point. We're mostly focused on SMB, which we consider anything 100 seats of CRM or fewer, although we do have a couple of customers with many more seats than that. But essentially, we're really focused on the SMB market. We have a proven methodology, and the thing that sets us apart the most, I would say, is that we have a 100% money back guarantee. So if you think about that number I told you earlier, where 40 to 70% of projects fail with CRM, the fact that we have this proven structured methodology with a 100% money back guarantee should tell you our commitment to helping you and your customers and our own customers, our direct customers as well. The way we work the model is we have two pieces to it. We have short-term packaged implementation services like onboarding services, or if you want to roll out the marketing module, or if you want to do a dashboard project, those are fixed fee. But then we also have this continuity program. So it's like an MSP program where we act as a virtual coworker, a virtual expert that our customers can tap into. The way we do that is we set up a Microsoft team, and so the customers can have real-time communications with us as the consulting firm. It works really well. And for any of you out there that are not doing that yet, it's a really great way to improve your customer relations, and I strongly encourage it. And if you have questions about that, aside from CRM, feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to tell you how it works for us. The other thing that we focus on is quick deployments. So we want to get people up and running and quick wins, keep the scope tight, keep the budget tight, get a quick deployment in. And we also focus on long-term consumption. And consumption can sound like a negative word sometimes, but really what it means is they're using the tool to its maximum advantage to hit their goals, hit their targets, and grow their business. And that's really why people are buying CRM. So you want to make sure that that focus is there, and we do that pretty well. And the big call out here is that 95% of our business is partner to partner. So yes, we do have our own direct customers, but most of our business is through partnering. We always take care of the customer first. The customer is foremost in our mind. We want to make sure that they're successful, but a very close second is making sure the partnership is successful. So we'll talk about that more later. But let's get to the heart of things. Why is CRM exploding? Well, the simple answer is we now live in a customer experience economy. And it's easy to say, hey, Pete, we've always lived in a customer experience economy, so what are you talking about? Well, the truth is that the internet has really allowed customers to call the shots more than ever before. If a customer is not happy with us or our end customers, those folks can go out to the internet and quickly find a competitor that will provide that same service and maybe a better experience. And so customers are really calling the shots. They're really in the driver's seat right now. And most of your customers see that. So their end customers are calling the shots. So your customers are seeing that and they understand that, hey, we've got to do something to change, or we're not going to be around for much longer, or we're not going to be as profitable. Maybe they'll be around long enough, but they won't be as profitable. And this is a real thing. This isn't some theoretical thing. In the last 15 years, 52% of the corporate 500 have disappeared. You know, some of this is M&A, some of it they've just been weakened and they've lost their niche and they're gone. And in fact, if you look back historically, if you started a business in 1955, the average life expectancy of that business was 75 years. These days, if you started a business, your average life expectancy of that business is 15 years and it's shrinking all the time. Some of this is just because of the dynamic nature and how easy it is to start businesses. But the truth is, a lot of people, a lot of companies out there just aren't prepared for this new customer experience economy. And you need to get prepared for that because it's a real thing and it's costing people their businesses and their livelihoods. In the end, I believe firmly, and this is something, if you know me, I'll say this a lot, but I believe customers today demand a consistent, high quality experience. And if we aren't providing it, they're going to find someone who will. And I think about myself as a customer. You know, there's only so many times I'm going to go back to that car dealership that frustrates me because there's several other in my area that I can go to. If I go to an online store and have a satisfactory experience, I'm going to use Google or Bing, if you prefer, and find someone who's going to provide that same good or service and just give me a better experience. And if I don't get a better experience that time, I'm going to search again. And so this demand here from customers, and it's hard to blame the customers because, again, if I put myself in their shoes, and I'm sure if you all think about the way you expect things from your vendors today, we're all more demanding than we ever have been because we have more options. And so it's a real thing, and customers are no longer willing to put up with bad experiences. It leads to, you know, turnover, customer turnover. It leads to price erosion. It leads to profitability erosion. It leads to frustrating experiences. And we'll get into some of that here in a bit. But the key thing that we've always seen is there's always been these traditional differentiators, like we're the local firm that does this, or we have the special knowledge that no one else does, or we have the best prices, or we spread through word of mouth, or maybe it's just simply that we've been here for 40 years or 50 years or whatever it is. Well, those things are honestly fading away. The internet has kind of leveled the playing field and said, hey, those things were great when people cared about those things, but now those differentiators are gone and they're not coming back. You need other differentiators, and those differentiators are that consistent, high quality experience that I was talking about before. That's what customers come back for. So some of the common business killers that we're seeing out there is fragmented teams. And so not only the sales team isn't talking to the service team, isn't talking to the accounting team, but you've got even within teams. So like sales teams, we routinely will talk to prospects who not everybody on the sales team is on the same page. So the inside sales might be out of step with the outside sales. Management might not know what anybody's doing. And there's a lot of fragmentation there that causes inconsistent messaging to the customers and to the prospects because the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing, at least not efficiently. It leads to slow response times. So if you call me up and I'm not your primary sales rep and Sandy is, and I need to wait for Sandy to get back to the office because she's out on vacation, well, that just causes, again, a creeping level of frustration with those prospects and customers that just is intolerable these days. It also leads to uninformed responses. So if I don't know what Sandy promised you and I try to take that call and I try to give you something that you're asking for, I may not know that you've already talked to Sandy about how you don't want to talk about this certain product line. And I may just stumble right into that minefield and start talking about that product line. It leads to frustration. And so overall, it just ends up creating this unsatisfactory experience for your customers and your prospects and even your own employees. And in today's day and age, employee turnover is also a real thing. That's not the focus of in my opinion, of this call, but definitely getting everyone on the same page not only helps your customers and prospects, it also helps your team feel less stress, feel more connected with each other, and it lowers their frustrations with their jobs. That's what we see out there anyway. And if you all have any questions about that or thoughts about that, or refute some of this, feel free to do so. These are the experiences I've built. I've talked with thousands of businesses over the last 20 years about why they're looking at CRM, and these things that I've identified are kind of the common themes that I hear over and over and over again. And the number one root cause of all this is we're all operating in silos. If every company out there has built up their businesses by focusing on, people are doing this, other people are doing this, other people are doing this, and a lot of times people have their own systems. You might have an accounting system, you might have a marketing system, you might have a sales system. A lot of people are still using spreadsheets and outlooks for sales systems. And so not only does each department have their own systems, in sales in particular, a lot of people still manage their sales through Outlook and spreadsheets. So all of my sales information is in my Outlook, all Sandy's is in Outlook. Well, how the heck are we supposed to connect and provide that consistent experience if we're all running from separate playbooks? And so this is really a big problem out there. And I think when I talk to prospects that are looking at CRM, this is kind of the number one thing I hear. I hear it in different ways. So I might hear things like, we need to see what our salespeople are doing, or we need to make sure that the sales has up-to-date information on the accounting information. So I don't want one of my sales reps to call on a customer that is on credit hold. That's a real thing, and you don't want your people to be wasting time chasing someone that's on credit hold. They can call them, but they could call them with a different MO. Instead of trying to sell them something, they could say, hey, just wanted to check in. You've been a long-term customer, but it looks like you owe us for the last 3 months. What's going on there? How can I help? And so you want to have that information at everyone's fingertips in your company so that you can create those dynamic, high-quality experiences. Well, the good news is with all these pain points and I'm sure you've kind of probably figured this out already, but this is what CRM is designed to do. So CRM is designed to meet this challenge. And for many years, I would say probably for the first 10 to 12 years I was selling CRM, the real push for CRM was a central database repository and getting all that information in one place. And CRM has evolved a little bit here to be more than just that central database repository. The other benefit of CRM, and I would say it's a stronger benefit, is CRM, when it's done right, will create a streamlined, automated operational system for sales for sure, but also for service, for marketing, for management, to meet the needs of the growing needs of these customers in a clean, consistent experience. And let's break down how it does that. So the first thing is, and this really does go back to that core value of CRM, CRM gets you organized. It does that through providing a central database. So all the information, may not start from CRM, but usually CRM becomes that central repository where all roads lead to CRM. That's a pretty common phrase with folks that get CRM. So your accounting data might start in your accounting system, but a lot of times it will be integrated with CRM and it will pop up in CRM. You may have a warehouse system. You may have a shopping e-commerce site system. You may have different systems, but the key is that all the data flows into CRM. What this does is it eliminates the silos, make sure everyone in your team is on the same page. That will allow you to have faster responses and more consistent responses. So example, if I'm a customer account manager, so I'm a sales rep, an inside sales rep, and a customer calls me up and says, hey, what's my last bill? Well, I can just go pull up their record in CRM. There'll be a tab for my accounting information, and I can just see that and respond to it. real quick, just like that, I can respond to it. And that beats the heck out of the old days or the current days for a lot of businesses where I have to say, hey, Susan, it's great talking with you. Let me figure that out and get back to you. And then I go talk to my accounting people who are busy. I may interrupt them. They may say, okay, well, give us a couple days and we'll get that back to you, Peter. And it creates some sluggishness in your organization, plus interruptive interdepartmental interruptions that slow everything down. And it creates a poor response for the customer. So, having all that data, and that's just one example, but having all the data flow into CRM and having your frontline folks living in CRM so that they can respond faster, it's a great thing. Another thing that I really like about CRM is if a customer calls me, I can go check and see if they've had any complaints recently. And if there's any open complaints, well, before I call that customer back, I can go to my service desk team and say, why wasn't Susan's why are we still waiting on this issue to solve for Susan? She put it in a month ago. What's going on here, team? And that way, when I call Susan back, I'll have a better answer for her than just, gee, I don't know what's going on, Susan. Or if she catches me off guard, which is even worse. And with this organization, the other thing that CRM does is it actually creates a foundation for the future, a launch pad. Some of the next things I'm going to talk about here will kind of explain what that means. This is one of my favorite things because I am a typical salesperson myself, and so a lot of times I get disorganized, just like all of our customers and a lot of sales reps everywhere. I love the engagement. I love talking with people about creating solutions, but sometimes things fall through the cracks. And CRM, when you use it right, it's going to make sure that that doesn't happen. And it does this through two primary ways: calendaring and automation. So the calendaring piece is pretty obvious. You can put your calendar in CRM and it will link with your Outlook. So a lot of people ask that, so I just want to jump on that one. So it'll link with your Outlook and it'll link with your phone, so you can stay on top of things. And then you have automation. So simple automations could be, I send a quote out the door and then the system has an automated trigger that says, hey, Peter, don't forget to follow up with that quote. Or you can even go further than that and just say, well, this is a C-level customer. They get a lot of quotes from us and they never buy. So maybe the system sends out an email that says, hey, Susan, are you, and I'm sorry to pick on Susan. If anybody on the call is Susan, I apologize. She's just my go-to fake customer name that I refer to. But it could just email out to Susan and say, hey, Susan, just want to make sure you got that quote. Let me know if you need anything. And it looks like it's from Peter. But the system has done that for me, so it frees up my time to do other tasks that are probably a little bit more high value for me. So when you use CRM this way, it'll help you coordinate activities, not only for yourself, but for your whole team. It'll do those automatic reminders and follow-ups. And really importantly, there's no more missteps because the system will make sure that those things don't happen. Overall, it acts like an invisible personal assistant, and that's kind of a buzzword that gets used a lot, but it truly can change the game for you and your team by getting that invisible personal assistant there. And customers love this because as a sales rep, one of the struggles with CRM is my team doesn't want to use it. Well, they don't want to use it because they think it's a big brother tool to watch over them and manage them. But if you make their life easier with that invisible personal assistant, they'll start to have some more traction. Excuse me. Another thing about CRM is, and this is pretty much table stakes these days, but not all CRMs do this, but CRM is wherever you go. So it's secure, it's web access, it's mobile access, and with something like Microsoft Dynamics, it's literally embedded into your other apps. So one of the benefits of Microsoft Dynamics is that it integrates tightly with the other Office products. So like I live in Outlook and I can get access to my CRM and I can do probably about 85–90% of what I want to do right from my Outlook. Other people in my company are in Teams all day long, and so they can do the same thing. They can pull up CRM information and push information to CRM right from Teams. So it's wherever you need it to be. It's mobile friendly, accessible, it's efficient, it's on the go, and you have dependable access 24/7. Like I said, this is kind of table stakes these days, but still there are systems out there that don't do this. And Dynamics, where it really excels, is the integration with Office, Teams, Outlook, SharePoint, Word, Excel. It's very strong. So if a customer has Office 365, Dynamics is looking more and more like a beautiful fit for them. 4, CRM helps you make smart decisions. Now, it does this typically through dashboards and analytics. A lot of times I go into a prospect and they don't really even know what's happening in their business. They won't be able to tell me what an average deal cycle looks like or what their close rate is. So how can we improve if we don't know these things? And this is not a condemnation, more than an opportunity for your end customers to look at CRM, because once you understand that these types of deals take 4 months to close, these other types of deals take 2 weeks to close, then you can start to decide, do we pursue those 4-month-long close cycles still? And you might, but having the information at your fingertips helps you determine what works and what doesn't, and just make better decisions. Now, CRM can, excuse me, can also act as what I call an early warning system. A lot of people use the dashboards in CRM as a single pane of glass, is what I call it. So they put everything about their day on a single dashboard, and that's fine. It does help you kind of like level set and understand what's happening with your day. But really what we prefer to see happening is an early warning system type dashboard. And you can use both. You don't have to use one or the other. You can use both. But the early warning system does things like give me all my quotes that I owe someone a response on, or give me all my opportunities that have been in the pipeline for more than 6 weeks when we know our average sales cycle is 4 weeks, because something's going wrong there. It could be things like, give me a list of all my customers that I haven't spoken to, my A-level customers that I haven't spoken to in the last 30 days, because, hey, you should really be maintaining those relationships with your A-level customers, even if it's just a call and just say, hey, what's going on? You need to know those things. And so the early warning system in CRM, that concept of the early warning system, takes the game to the next level, and it helps your reps, it helps everybody in your company understand how to prioritize their day. It's not just giving them list after list after list of stuff to do. I mean, we all are swamped these days. Most of us are swamped and we're drowning in work to do. So it's not giving me more work. It's telling me what things to prioritize. That's where CRM starts to pay for itself pretty darn fast. You add automation to that and things get a lot better. All right. And number 5, and this is my last kind of big picture benefit of CRM, but it connects you with your customers and frankly your vendors as well. So CRM can be integrated with your website. So if you have a lead form, it can feed it right into your CRM. You don't have to go to some email box and rekey it. And you can also have customer and vendor portals, so you can give access to your customers and your vendors to see what's going on with your joint business. So there's no more rekeying of data. And the big benefit is the customers will get access 24/7, 365. Now, this might not seem like, hey, my customers don't want this right now, but the truth is, recent studies have shown that, like, I think it's an alarming number. Like, it surprised me, like 68% of people don't want to talk to a human being anymore when they have basic questions. And I guess, again, I look at my own life and I say, you know what, I guess I'm the same way, because when I remember the days when you used to call the airlines to find out what was going on with your ticket if there was a problem, and now you can do the automated kiosks and whatnot. And frankly, it's a lot less stressful. And so your customers and your customers' customers want that, especially the younger millennials as they're coming up. They're used to doing things online, and they're going to want to be able to get that access to their information when they want. We're no longer confined to 9x5, and if I want a piece of information about what I'm doing with you or a status update, and I'm up, in the office catching up on work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, I don't want to wait till Monday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. I want to log into a portal and see what's going on. So you're serving people the way they want it. And not only that, which is a huge benefit to your customers and your prospects, it frees your team up to do more valuable things. So if someone wants to know what their latest bill looks like, put it in the portal, and then they don't have to call your people to get that information. Excuse me. So that's the top 5 benefits. There are so many other benefits with CRM, but those are the top 5 things that I think that my experience really move the needle for SMBs everywhere. And so if we put all these together, what does CRM do for for a small business. It increases operational efficiency. It'll help you create better customer experiences and better prospect experience for new sales. It'll help you drive new revenue. It'll lower your customer turnover, increase your customer retention. It'll give you more insights so you can do cross-selling and upselling. So that's where that drive new revenue comes from. It also will, when it's done right, it should shorten your sales cycle and increase your close ratios. So that's a pretty powerful piece. And overall, it'll improve employee productivity. So just making it more efficient for everybody to do their jobs. So overall, this goes back to that first statement I made, which is what are customers looking for? They're looking for those consistent, high quality experiences, and that's what CRM will allow you to do. So Sandy, I'm gonna take a brief pause here to get a drink of water, because but let me know if there's any questions here.
Sure. There've been a few that have jumped in. Let's see. This one we hear a lot. How does Dynamics 365 compare to Salesforce or other CRM systems?
Well, that is a great one, and I will be answering that here in a couple slides. So,
awesome.
So I'll probably put a pin in that one, and if it isn't fully answered by the time we get there, you know, after that slide, just let me know and I'll go into it a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, great.
All right, well, I'm gonna move on with the presentation here for now.
Yeah.
So here are some potential roadblocks in the path to transformation. And so as a partner, one of the things that we do is we encourage partners to pick up CRM themselves if they have the bandwidth. Now, depending on who you talk to, I saw a report from Ingram Micro a couple of years back that said they estimated that picking up CRM as a business practice would be about a $500,000 investment and take a couple of years to get it right. I don't know if I haven't done the research. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I do know a lot of partners who have tried to spin up CRM, and because it is such a different beast than what they normally do, it's different sales motion, different technology, different adoption strategies. I could see where that might be right. And two of the things that I see really causing some roadblocks to partners picking it up is just the high failure rate. So we've talked about this earlier, which is it's a 40 to 70%, depending on which research firm you look at. There's a 40 to 70% failure rate, meaning that the customer adopts it, spends the money, spends the time, and then they don't go anywhere with it. It falls to the wayside. It leads to a loss of investment and worse, irrecoverable time. Because if you think about why are they going to CRM, it's because they have a business need. So to lose 12 to 18 months going down the wrong path, that's a huge problem. Some common challenges with CRM is people try to do too much too soon. They try to bite off more than they can chew, and it leads to more complex projects, higher budgets, longer time to ROI. And this is unfortunately typical of a lot of consulting firms, and where a lot of traditional CRM consulting firms will ask for every requirement under the sun, and they'll build out this perfect ideal system, and they'll try to just build that out, and it's a recipe for failure. Another thing that we see is no project champion on the customer side. Who's going to lead the project on the customer side? Who's going to take the reins and make sure that things go successfully there? If you don't have that role, the project is almost certainly doomed for failure. Another one that's kind of closely related is an executive sponsor who's going to understand the strategic value of CRM and make sure that there's a fully budgeted project. No roadmap to success kind of ties in with the first bullet point. The wrong solution. I see a lot of people buying a solution because it's cheap. You get what you pay for, and if all you need is something simple, that's great. But most companies need something beyond just a simple Rolodex in the cloud. They need something that's going to be that foundation for the future and help them evolve and grow. Wrong and no guidance. Now this one is definitely, I have a dog in this fight, of course, because we sell guidance, but the truth is a lot of customers that try to self-implement or they just get technical support to implement, they don't have a high success rate. They kind of just get the software up and running, but no one is there to help them with change management. No one is there to help them with adoption. And so those things kind of lead them astray and lead to a a non-usage situation. That's a fancy way of saying they give up on it. Insufficient budget, that kind of leads, it kind of goes hand in hand with wrong or no guidance. Not enough focus is a real problem. We see a lot of people, especially larger companies that have different stakeholders, and they try to do everything at once, and there is no one clear path to success. A lot of these kind of relate together because that also ties in with the no roadmap. So we say focus on a simple path to success, and then get that done, get that rolled out, and then iterate. Go on to the next piece. And as you go, you're going to start to see a return on investment for each phase as it gets done, and people start to use the system. So it creates a snowball effect. Let me just do this. Sandy, I'm going to turn off my camera because the light is blinding me here. So sorry about that. Just I got this bright new light I'm trying out, and it's like my eyes are getting dried out here.
No problem.
All right, thanks. So how do we do this? How do we successfully implement CRM? So we don't have any secrets here, and I'm willing, if you're interested in building your own practice, I'm happy to share any and all of this. I routinely share information and insights with partners. This is a strategy that we know works. We provide that 100% money back guarantee because we know this stuff works. We've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of SMBs get up and running successfully. For us, it all starts with a crawl, walk, run philosophy. Don't let, there's a famous saying, perfect is the enemy of the good. Most companies come to us with a basic need that they're disorganized. They aren't serving their customers in that consistent, high quality manner that customers want these days. And yet they will somehow get convinced that they need to implement everything in the kitchen sink on day one. So we say, look, let's just slow our roll a little bit. Let's focus on the minimum viable product that's going to help you reach your goals. What are your goals? Well, your goals are to be more efficient, more effective, more responsive, so that you can improve customer retention, improve sales velocity, and improve the customer long-term purchase, the long-term lifetime value. And so start with the smallest project possible. Let your people start to use it, then iterate, and then iterate, and then iterate. And it has multiple benefits. The first of which is it's a faster time to ROI. So our typical project, if a customer stays on our plan, which they don't always, I'll just be honest, they don't always stick to plan, we can get a customer up and running within 3 to 6 weeks. They can be live with CRM. Then not only do they get some immediate benefits, the users actually start to use the system, understand the system, and then they can start to ask for changes to the system. So we have this concept of let's get live as quick as possible and then create a wish list. And this wish list is like the old-fashioned employee suggestion box. And it's nothing fancy. We usually just use a spreadsheet where the customer's project champion actively solicits complaints, concerns, requests from the users, with the understanding that, hey, we know the system's not perfect, so share your woes with us. We want those folks to voice their concerns and voice their complaints, because otherwise they're just going to complain at the water cooler to their peers, and they'll drag their feet. They won't use the system, and they'll just act as if it's management versus the people on the front line. A big part of what we do is to break that psychology and help the sales reps, the customer service reps, the folks on the front line understand that this tool isn't being imposed on them. This tool is being built for them. And kind of a related phrase that we use is we sell to management, but we implement for the frontline users. Because if we make the lives of the frontline users better, more productive, less stressful, then management goals will be met. If you don't focus on the frontline users, and we see a lot of customers come to us, a lot of prospects come to us where they want dashboards to see what the sales reps are doing. They want to control what the sales reps are doing. That is a goal, but what that does is it divides the team up. It divides management and the frontline folks. And so what we prefer to say is, hey, we'll help you get those reports and dashboards, but first let's focus on making it so that your team sees a value to this tool. And so you're not having to spend all your energy begging them, forcing them, threatening them. If they don't use the tool, there's going to be problems. So let's get them using the tool, show them that it's going to be a huge benefit for them, and it will be a huge benefit for the company as a whole if we can do that. So that's kind of the strategy of the crawl, walk, run approach is start with the basics, start to get real world usage. Once you start to use the system, you'll understand more about how the system works natively, and then requests that you make will be more beneficial and more cost effectively implemented. Kind of on a side note here, and not to beat this one to death, but it is important because I see so many CRM consulting firms, they elicit pages and pages and pages and pages of requirements from the customer, and then they give them a huge bid for $100,000, $200,000, whatever it is, and then they disappear for 6, 9, 12 months building out this perfect system. Well, the customer has seen a demo or two. They don't know what they really want. So by implementing the crawl approach and getting them in there with the basics, they'll start to understand how the system works more naturally, and then they'll be able to tweak it based on that understanding versus asking for things that they may not want. And we used to do it that way. We used to do it the old-fashioned way. And 9 times out of 10, the functionality that they asked for would be ripped out or not useful or not used, and would create this giant, massive, difficult to use system that no one appreciated. Management didn't appreciate it, and the rank and file didn't appreciate it. So that's another reason for the crawl walk. I could honestly talk about crawl walk run for a whole session, so I'm just going to move on here. The other thing that we do is this proven structured methodology. So we have what we call a framework. It's not a project plan, but it's a framework designed, and it's broken into 4 stages, and it works. We know it works because we've been using it for 15 years now. And essentially what we do is we break the projects into 4 stages to implement that minimum viable product. The first stage is just preparatory. The second stage is to spin up their knowledge for their project champion, their administrator type folks, to really understand how the back end works. And then the third stage is to train the frontline people, the sales team or the customer service team or the marketing team. CRM is not just for sales, it's also for service. We have a lot of customers that use service and marketing. And then the fourth and final stage, well, after that sales training, that end user training, they're live. So after the first 3 stages, they're live. And then we have a 4th stage, which lasts 30 days after they go live. We have a set of calls and meetings with prepared agendas to talk about the struggles that they're probably going to be facing, because we've done this enough times. There's going to be struggles. I guarantee that. No CRM implementation goes smooth. If it is going smooth, what it means is people aren't giving you legit feedback. And so what we do is we will walk them through common issues, common problems, common struggles in those calls to smooth over the adoption hurdles that cause long-term problems with using CRM. So we're going to go through those things and just make sure that they're taken care of. And it doesn't end there. There'll be struggles down the road as well, but the goal is just to kind of really focus on building new habits with the CRM as soon as it's up and running. And that can't be stressed enough. A lot of technical companies that we work with will just install CRM and say, job's done. No, the job is just getting started once the software is installed. I can guarantee that. The other thing that we do is a fixed fee, fixed scope. So we don't sell hours. We don't want to debate with customers about hours. But what we want to say is, here's what we're going to do. Here's the deliverables. Here's the value that you should see. Here's what you're going to do. And we're going to do it for this price. And we back it with 100% guarantee. And so what that tells the customer is, and it tells our partners is, we have skin in the game. We want our customers to be successful. We want your customers to be successful if you partner with us. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that with this fixed fee, fixed scope. There's no surprises. Yeah, if a customer comes to us, we're defining that MVP, that minimum viable product, and here's the scope of what's included. If they come to us in the 11th hour and say, oh, well, we also need these 40 dashboards built out. Well, that's out of scope, and it would be a change request. More importantly, though, we'd say save that until we go live with the original scope, because once you start to use it, some of those dashboards will certainly evolve and you might change your mind about what you want there. That's usually our approach. But if a customer absolutely insists, hey, no, I need these dashboards, then we would do it out of scope, change request for the project. Other than that, though, we're not talking about hours. And for us, what that does is it encourages us to use highly trained experts in the field to do the work, because we don't want to have rework. We don't want to have junior consultants learning on the customer's dime. So it increases the customer satisfaction, and more importantly to me is it increases the customer successful outcome. Two roles that we provide on our team is we have this role of a concierge. This is it's a kind of a combination of account manager, coordinator, facilitator, and the reason why we call them concierges is because it works just like a hotel concierge. You know, you need your dry cleaning done at a hotel. If you've ever had that displeasure, you go ask the concierge, hey, where can I get my dry cleaning done? Sometimes the hotel will have their own service, but let's say you need it faster. So the concierge would say, I know a place down the street that will do it overnight. And they may even say, I'll run it over there for you. And they'll take care of those things. They don't actually do the dry cleaning, but they're going to coordinate and help you and get you what you want. That's what our concierges do. So if a customer needs a meeting, if they're looking for a piece of information, where's the training video links, the concierge is there to answer all their questions. And then the other role that we have is a success coach. And it's kind of a fancy name, and people might roll their eyes about with that name, because I know in the end, people are like, well, is that just a functional consultant? The truth is, it is a functional consultant, but it's a little bit more than that. Our success coaches are literally responsible for the successful outcome of our customers. Their goal is to get inside the heads of our customers, to understand their businesses, to understand the product, to advise. So not just react and do what the customer asks for, but to be an advisor, a coach, a therapist, just to make sure that they have a successful rollout of CRM. I had the best compliment ever a couple months ago. A customer called me up and said, you know, your coach, Bryn, it's almost like she reads my mind and she tells me the things I need to know before I even knew I needed to know them. And that was like a great compliment. That's what we kind of want our success coaches to do. Now, all of this is, I already mentioned this a couple times because I think it is important to know, 100% money back guarantee. We're committed to this, and you know, we have over the last 15 years, we've had to give money back 7 times. And some of those were not our fault. It was something that happened at the customer site. Sometimes, you know, it was our fault. We forgot something or we missed something. That's fine. We just go ahead and take care of that customer, make them happy. And some of our best customers have been the ones that have asked for money back because we didn't do what they needed. This really is just saying we have a commitment to our partners and to our customers that we're serious about their success. And a lot of people say, hey, we're customer focused, but the money back guarantee really kind of underscores our commitment to this. And I would say that for any of you on the call that are like, you're out of your mind, you can't do a 100% money back guarantee, that would put us out of business. When we first introduced the money back guarantee, my team actually said some of the same things, like, why are you doing this? This is crazy. We're going to be out of business if we do this. And I just looked around the room and I just said, you know, are you saying we're doing a cruddy job? Because if that's the case, maybe I need new people. And they all laughed and we all had a great chuckle. But the truth is, you know, if we believe what we're doing is right and we're guaranteeing the outcomes for the customers, the money back guarantee is the bare minimum of what we can do. That's just kind of enough about that. But it just tells you that if you do want to partner with us, we're going to take really good care of you and your customers. So if you want to work with us, so like if you want to spin up your own practice, you should. There's so much growth in dynamic CRM right now. It is amazing. So like if you have the drive and capacity and bandwidth, you should do that. And we'll have a separate session coming up next year on build versus partner. But you know, just be aware that you're going to need to really commit to it. A lot of firms, what they'll do is they'll just take one of their current people who's not so busy and try to get them to spin up CRM. And that doesn't last long, because as soon as you get busy with your core business again, I see those people getting pulled back to the core business and the CRM goes dormant. So just be aware of that. The other thing I see that happens is you'll hire someone or take someone out of the current rotation, train them up on Dynamics, but if you don't have enough business, they can get bored and there's a lot of firms out there that are looking for Dynamics consultants that might just hire your people away from you after like 6 to 9 months after you've spent all that time, money spinning them up and educating them. And I don't say that to scare anybody. I'm just saying that's just a reality that I see. So while you're building your practice, or if you just want to not build a practice and still benefit and serve those customers, you can partner with Azamba. This is 95% of our business is partner to partner. The way it works is we try to make this so easy for you, so it's a win-win relationship for all of us, is you own the customer, it's your customer. You'll sell the licenses. Some partners will buy the licenses through us because we get top tier margins. But either way, the licenses, the services go on your letterhead. You get ongoing margin. We're not a referral company. We are an outsourced practice arm. So what we're trying to do is build a practice area for you where you are going to make recurring revenue on everything. So if we get brought into a customer, we help them get up and running with CRM, and we are doing work 3 years later for them, you're still making that ongoing service margin. So we're really here to help you build up a profit area with low to no risk. We support you at every step and we make it easy. And a little bit about what we mean by make it easy is we're not here just to take leads. So a lot of partner to partner activity is, where's my leads? And if you sell other products, there's always that attitude of where's my leads from these vendors? Well, we're not like that. We are here to help you find business. So we do free joint marketing, and these bullet points are a little out of order. I should put the marketing at the top, but we'll do joint webinars, we'll do blog articles, we'll do videos. So we will help you. We do a what's called an account walkthrough. So if you're interested, we could walk through your accounts and let you know which candidates are great prospects for CRM, and we'll find some quick wins. That's usually a pretty big eye opener for a lot of our partners, because let's say you have 100 customers, and that's just a number just because it's easy to do. Probably about 20 to 25% of them probably already have CRM, are looking for CRM, and you might not even know about it. So we'll help you identify those real fast. And then some of them we'll put on a drip campaign just to let them know, hey, our firm does CRM now. And then there might be a certain percent that just aren't a good fit for CRM, and we'll let you know those too. We do sales enablement. So a typical partner relationship with us is a partner will email their prospect and CC me and say, hey, Susan, Peter's our CRM expert, our CRM sister company, our technology expert, however you want to refer to us. He'll be able to help you evaluate and choose CRM. And now some partners will want to be on every call. That's your right, it's your customer. You do it however is most comfortable for you. But in general, I'm going to run with that. I'm going to do the discovery call, make sure they're a good fit, make sure that we can help them. If so, then we'll move on and do a demo. If that works out well, then we'll do a pricing call. And typically I do like to do a pricing call, not just send over blind spreadsheets. We could do a budget call early on if a customer is kind of marginal about, hey, do I really want to make this investment or not? We do have prepared budgets for people, but generally speaking, the 3 steps in the sales process is discovery, demo, and then a pricing call where we talk about options and let them know how we're going to help make sure that they're successful. So we'll do all that, and then we do fulfillment. And when it comes to fulfillment, we do it all: implementation, training, configuration, customization, automation, ongoing support, advisory services. And we'll work with you, because some of our partners will say, Peter, we do Power BI. We don't want you to do that. If a Power BI request comes up, kick it back to us. So we have in our system, we track a lot of information about our partner relationship. So we know that if a customer of yours asks about Power BI and you said, hey, we do that, we'll loop you in. If a customer of yours says to us, hey, we're looking for this, if it's not CRM related, we're going to kick it back to you, and then you can decide what you want to do with it. If it's a service area that you don't fulfill, so like let's say they're looking for additional security services and you don't fulfill that, let us know. We've got a big network. We might be able to put you in touch with a long-term relationship that you can help serve other customers with. But the key is that we stay in our lane and we'll do all this work as an outsourced practice arm to make it easy for you. I think I only have one more slide. I know we're running out of time, so looks like this is good. So Sandy, this goes back to that question about, and I don't call out Salesforce here particularly, but these are the 3 reasons why people pick Dynamics CRM over other competitive products. And let's face it, Salesforce is the 800-pound gorilla. Everybody and their brother and their mother and their sister know about Salesforce. And Salesforce is a good product. I'm not going to bash Salesforce, but I will tell you why people pick Dynamics over Salesforce is the better together message. Microsoft has built Dynamics to be so tightly integrated with other Microsoft products. It's nuts. It's so powerful. I like to say I'm the typical dumb sales guy. I live in my Outlook all day long, but I still could do 80% of my functions, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but I can do all that within Outlook. Other people in my company are in Teams all day long, and they can do the same thing from within Teams. And so it just, the fact that everything flows so nicely, it integrates with Word templates, it integrates with Outlook email templates, you can dump data in and out of Excel. It just makes life so much easier for the average company. Now, if you have a customer that's using G Suite, it's less valuable. That's less beneficial. There still could be value in Dynamics CRM, but the truth, in my opinion, is that the better fits are the customers that are using Office because of that tight integration. The other reason why that Microsoft, I think, is just going to rule the world with Dynamics CRM is the insane flexibility. So for those of you who don't know, Microsoft has got this thing called the Power Platform, and it's basically a set of tools built in the web to enable efficient, effective, powerful ways to streamline and automate your systems. It's not just Dynamics. You can automate SharePoint and Office, and you can integrate with third-party systems with these tools. It's a kind of a low-code, no-code model that can be scaled up to have code behind it. But the key is that our customers now with Dynamics can do things that in a fraction of the time that they used to do with other systems. So it's like literally like things that used to take us weeks to do in other CRM systems can take us days or even hours to do in Dynamics. It's that powerful, and it's hard to overestimate the value of that for SMB customers because they want to do awesome things, but they don't have the budget. So that flexibility is huge. And then constant improvement. Microsoft is spending so much money to improve this software. I don't know about you, but I've worked with other tools in the past where the vendors kind of like I'm just going to say it's kind of harsh, but they milk the products, they milk the customers, and they just don't put investment back into the products. Microsoft is spending, I can't even imagine how much they're spending, but every 6 months there's a release of new features with Dynamics that is pages and pages and pages just for the table of contents of how much they've improved. And then there's little changes and improvements just that pop up randomly. It is fascinating how such a big company can respond to feedback so fast and iterate and improve. It's a lesson that we could all learn. If a company the size of Microsoft can do that, I mean, it really is a pretty cool thing to think about. And I'll tell you, the funny thing is, it's one of the challenges of being a Dynamics partner is just staying on top of all the things that Microsoft doing is sometimes like drinking from the fire hose. And not only do we have to drink from the fire hose and figure out what things are the most important, we have to percolate that back down to our customers so that they can know what's most important to them. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's better than having a stagnating product. So we really love it. So Sandy, I think that's it for I think that's my last slide. Just this last slide here. If you all want more information, you can go to partners.azamba.com.